Hnefatafl is one of the most famous and authentic strategy games bequeathed to us by the Vikings. It is often called Viking chess, but it is distinguished by its asymmetry. The two sides have different goals and a different number of pieces. The game was extremely popular in Northern Europe between the 4th and 12th centuries before being supplanted by classical chess. Archaeologists have found its boards and pieces in Greenland, Iceland, Great Britain, and even in Russia. How the snowman came to be. While the snowman is now a symbol of holiday cheer, its history began as a much more serious and sometimes provocative folk art. While it's likely that people have been making snow figures since prehistoric times, the earliest evidence dates back to the Middle Ages. Earliest depiction, found in the margins of the 1380 Book of Hours manuscript, housed in the National Library of the Netherlands. Snow as a free material. Centuries ago, snow was one of the few ways ordinary people could express their creativity without spending money. In 1494, even the young Michelangelo was hired by Piero de' Medici to sculpt a snowman in the courtyard of his palace in Florence. In the Middle Ages, snowmen were not just children's play, but often served as social and political satire. The miracle of 1511, during a harsh winter in Brussels, residents built over 100 snowmen throughout the city. Many of them were satirical or obscene, directed against local rulers and the church. Military strategy. In 1690, during the Schenectady massacre, it is said that 2 guards left snowmen at their posts at the north gate while they went to the tavern, a tactic that unfortunately did not fool the attackers. In the 19th and 20th centuries, the image of the snowman changed from a crude sculpture to the friendly character we know today. The first photograph, it was taken around 1853 by Welsh photographer Mary Dillwyn. Victorian era. The snowman then began to appear regularly in Christmas cards and illustrations, establishing himself as a family symbol. Pop culture icons. His popularity was cemented in 1950 with the song Frosty the Snowman, which later became a classic animated film. How did a code leak decide a naval war? In World War II, the leaking of information through broken codes played a crucial role, the most famous case being related to the Battle of Midway, 1942. Identification of a target, AF. American cryptographers at Station Hypo in Pearl Harbor intercepted Japanese messages about an impending large-scale attack on a target codenamed AF. They suspected that it was Midway Island, but the high command in Washington was skeptical. The lack of water trap. To confirm their theory, the Americans came up with a clever trick. They ordered the base at Midway to send an uncoded radio message that their fresh water installation was damaged. The confirmation. Soon after, intelligence intercepted a Japanese message reporting that AF is short of drinking water. This definitively proved that the target was Midway. The result, thanks to this leak, Admiral Chester Nimitz is able to organize an ambush. The U.S. sinks 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, breaking the backbone of the Japanese fleet and becoming a turning point in the Pacific War. Other key cases. Project Ultra, Germany breaking the Enigma machine, allows the Allies to track the movements of German submarines in the Battle of the Atlantic, saving thousands of supply ships. Zimmermann telegram. World War I British breaking of a German diplomatic code reveals a plan for an alliance between Germany and Mexico against the U.S. The publication of this leak brings America into the war. Why is the UK flag so complicated? The complexity of the British flag, Union Jack, stems from the fact that it is a visual puzzle combining 3 different national symbols through specific rules of heraldry. Here are the main reasons for its complex design. Combination of 3 flags. The flag is not a single design, but a superposition of the crosses of the 3 patron saints. England, the red cross of St. George, a straight cross on a white background. Scotland, the white salter, diagonal cross, of St. Andrew on a blue background. Ireland, the red salter of St. Patrick, a diagonal cross on a white background, added in 1801. The intentional asymmetry contrachange. The most confusing part is that the red diagonal lines are slightly offset. This is done for 2 reasons. Equality. If the red cross of Ireland were placed exactly on top of the white one of Scotland, the Scottish symbol would simply look like a frame. To preserve the meaning of both, they are counterchanging. Seniority. The Scottish cross is in the uppermost position in the quarter to the side of the handle because Scotland joined the Union earlier. Heraldic rules. According to the laws of heraldry, colors, such as red and blue, should not touch each other directly. Therefore, around the Red Cross of St. George, there is a white band, fimbria, which technically represents the original white background of the English flag. The absence of Wales. The flag seems incomplete to many because Wales is not represented directly, for example, with its red dragon. This is because at the time of the creation of the first Union Jack in 1606, Wales was already legally annexed to the Kingdom of England and considered part of it. Because of this asymmetry, it is possible for the flag to be hung upside down by mistake. The rule is that in the upper corner next to the handle, the wider white stripe should be on top. Would you like to see what the flag would look like if it included the symbol of Wales? The inclusion of Wales in the national flag has been the subject of much debate and creative suggestions from vexillologists, flag experts, and members of the public. As the traditional Union Jack is already oversaturated, adding new elements is a real challenge. Here are the most popular redesign concepts. The red dragon, Wydre Gotch. The most direct way is to place the Welsh dragon in the very center of the flag, on top of the Cross of St. George. The Cross of St. David. An alternative option is to use the yellow cross on a black background, the symbol of the patron saint of Wales, which is incorporated into the design by changing the colors of some of the sections. The green color. As the Welsh flag is white and green, it is often suggested that the lower half of the Union Jack be changed to green to reflect the Welsh hills and traditions. These suggestions have appeared periodically in petitions and discussions on BBC News, but have so far not led to an official change, as the current design is considered a historically established symbol of the British Empire and modern Britain. Ishtar Gate, Babylonian blue legend. The Ishtar Gate is one of the most magnificent symbols of the ancient world, often described as the Blue Legend of Babylon. Built around 575 BC by King Nebuchadnezzar II, it was the eighth entrance to the inner city and the beginning of the famous processional way. Symbolic blue. The walls were covered with bright blue glazed bricks, intended to imitate lapis lazuli, a precious stone revered in ancient times for its rich color. The shine was achieved through a complex technology with copper oxide baked at high temperatures. Divine protection. The gate is decorated with reliefs of 3 sacred animals. Lions symbolize the goddess Ishtar, love and war. Bulls, aurochs, represent the god Adad, storms and rain. Dragons, Mushkashu, symbol of the chief god of Babylon, Marduk. Current location. The original fragments were excavated in the early 20th century and transported to Berlin. Today, the gate has been reconstructed and is on display at the Pergamon Museum. The gate was so impressive that it was originally listed as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world before being replaced by the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Cisterna Basilica. The Basilica Cistern, Turkish, Yerebitin Sarnasai, is the largest surviving ancient water reservoir in Istanbul, located in the historic Sultanahmet district. Built in 532 AD during the reign of Byzantine Emperor Justinian I, it served as a water storage facility for the Great Palace of Constantinople. The interior of the cistern is supported by 336 marble columns arranged in 12 rows, creating the atmosphere of an underground palace. Medusa heads. In the northwest corner are 2 columns, the bases of which are sculpted heads of Medusa, one placed sideways, the other upside down. They are recycled from older Roman buildings. Weeping column. Peacocks are decorated with carvings resembling tears. It is believed to have been erected in memory of the thousands of slaves who died during construction. Light installations. After extensive restoration, the cistern offers impressive artistic lighting and contemporary sculptures that are reflected in the crystal water. Christmas in early Christian Rome. In early Christian Rome, Christmas did not exist as a holiday for the first 3 centuries. Early believers focused on the resurrection, Easter, and often viewed birthday celebrations as a pagan custom. Key milestones in the establishment of the holiday. Earliest records. Around 204 AD, theologian Hippolytus of Rome first gave December 25th as the date of Christ's birth in his commentary on Daniel. First official celebration. The first documented record of Christmas in Rome is from 336 AD, during the reign of Emperor Constantine the Great, recorded in the chronograph of 354. Liturgical character. Early celebrations were solemn and spiritual, involving prayer, fasting, reading of the scriptures, and midnight vigils. Connection to Roman pagan traditions. Although Christians had their own theological calculations, based on the belief that Christ was conceived on the same day he was crucified, March 25th, the choice of December 25th was heavily influenced by the context of Rome. Saturnalia, December 17th to 23rd, a popular festival honoring Saturn, involving gift-giving, feasting, and the reversal of social roles. Sol Invictus, December 25th, the Feast of the Unconquered Sun, established by Emperor Aurelian in 274 AD. The Christian Church adapted this date to present Christ as the true light of the world. Fun fact: during this period in the East, in Egypt and Syria, the birth of Christ was often celebrated on January 6th, Epiphany, as a unifying event for his birth and baptism. Rome, however, imposed the tradition of December 25th.